Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give you a guide for B4 Iron Giant in the Brawl Vortex Tower. Iron Giant is weak to physical water damage and you absolutely have to bring something to debuff his physical attack and physical defense, and many times he'll buff his physical attack to +5, same with physical defense, and whenever he does Mighty Guard he'll have +5 physical defense buff, which you have to nullify in order to stun him. And the giant also has a sigil phase where you need to break diamond sigils, but you can just debuff his physical defense, which will stun him, extending the sigil phase, and you have a lot of time to break it with materia or weapon abilities. However, one more important thing, near the end of the battle the giant will start doing Greater Helm Splitter, and this attack will insta-kill the character. Well, you can dodge it once with reprieve, but there is no way to survive it otherwise, so it is a DPS race. Normal Helm Splitter is just a powerful single target attack, but the Greater Helm Splitter will kill. After Masamune I expected Iron Giant to be on the same level or tougher, but luckily it's not the case, and personally I find the giant much easier, which feels weird because he has a higher floor, but I brought the same team and I just modified it a bit to bring what's necessary for the giant. But after Masamune I came over prepared and the giant would just tickle me, so I removed some of the equipment to lower the stats since it wasn't necessary. But I have the same team with Aerith, Angia and Sephiroth, but for physical war we have multiple options. Yuffie with her rebirth gear is the best DPS option, but we also have Barret, Nanaki or Kate Sith debuff water resistance. But yeah, I have the same team, just modify it a bit so Aerith is still the healer and buffs water damage. Angel is buffing attack and defenses, but also debuffs Giant's physical defense. And Sephiroth is DPSing and debuffs attack. And I also have multiple breaches and debraves to remove those buffs faster. Aerith has Bahamut outfit with Breath of the Earth, Baharut for heals, Bamboo Stake to buff water damage, ultimate weapon, and then both debrave and breach, and a stat stick, and then in sub-equipment slots Aerith has a weapon with HP and buff debuff extension, and a guild weapon with physical defense for allies. Angia has Odin outfit with Ad Astra, Greatsword to debuff physical defense, Stormwind Integrate for buffs, debrave, and in those slots you can equip any stat sticks or water materia, and then in sub-equipment slots Angia has a weapon with physical attack for allies and a guild weapon with physical defense for allies. Sephiroth has Edgar outfit with Leviathan, Tempest for DPS, Northern Lights to debuff physical attack, ultimate weapon, breach materia and 2 stat sticks, and then sub-equipment slot Sephiroth has Twinkling Star with HP, Fair Gloves and Black Whiskers to boost Seph's physical attack and water potency. At the beginning, don't do anything because this animation, but after this, just wait, because Iron Giant is about to buff his physical attack, so 2 debraves, and with Sephiroth Northern Lights twice, but we also have to buff our physical defense, and with Aerith you can't do anything. I just rather buff water damage to not sit on AAB. And just wait to heal back, and still don't do DPS because now we'll have to debuff physical defense. It's Mighty Guard, so just to quicken the process you can use breaches, but now we can do a little bit DPS. But just keep in mind that you have to debuff physical attack again and refresh physical defense because another Grand Sword is coming, one more, because odd an outfit so you get that extra high physical defense. And alright. Actually that was a misclick. So I'm glad it actually didn't get off. They still have the buffs. Actually, let's refresh water buff. And here, those normal attacks, you can switch your defense on them, but you don't really have to worry too much. Just a little bit more. Physical attack buff. Genji, and let's do this. Breath of the Earth, you can save it for when you really want to heal, but he doesn't attack you very often, so you have enough time to heal with materia or a weapon, see ability. Alright. Another physical attack buff, which we have to nullify, so same process. Just materia, and here comes the Surge phase. So ideally you want to debuff that physical attack buff, but also debuff physical defense. Nullify this attack. Just one more. Here, and we can go back to doing DPS here. And we have more than enough time to break those 5 sigils. While doing some DPS, which ideally you want to do. And it's perfect. And now, buff physical defense. Physical defense buff is definitely very important in this battle because Iron Giant hits very hard, and especially if he buffs his physical attack, then you're in danger. But actually, let's do this. We can always sit on summons, but there's not really any point to sit on a summon in this battle because there is no gauge to deplete, nothing, just straight DPS and survival. Right, other one. Actually fine. Let's just deplete with materia. It should be fine. Yeah, perfect. Northern Lights it has pretty slow animation, like some of Sephiroth's animations. They are very slow, especially his launch weapons. But it still does the job. Same thing, my guard. A tiny bit too early. I thought miscalculated because Sephiroth would have hit that physical attack buff, but I was tiny bit split of a second too fast on that. But this heavy slash, it's a single target attack. It's almost like a helm splitter. Actually, I think I didn't name it correctly, but this heavy slash is just single target attack and it is powerful, but don't worry, you will survive it. And also targets a character with the highest HP. So you can always modify your team if you don't want to use provoke. Slowly, we're getting there. Right, let's just activate it. And Astra is ready if needed. But I think we should be fine here. Alright. Grand Sword is the same attack as all the AoE attacks here, so don't worry. I'm just going to use Ad Astra here. Even though it's very safe. Because it's literally the same attack. It's not buffed. Nothing. And not sure, one more hit? Or maybe two. Two, I think. Yeah, two. But yeah, at this point, if you still haven't killed him, you should be starting to charge his Grey Helm Splitter. So if he does that, you might lose a character that he targets. So just be careful of that. But yeah, it's the same Iron Giant. No other moves added, and it's just quite funny. The difficulty difference between Masamune and Iron Giant, because I personally think this battle is much easier, has much lower stat requirements, and I am a little bit confused that this one is a higher floor instead of Masamune. It's like Masamune is that soft cap, much harder, and then you're going back to much easier battle. A little bit weird, but yeah, that would be it. So good luck on your own clear, and I also hope that you found my guide helpful, and in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.